guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for another one of our Patreon one-shots. This is our monthly Patreon one-shots. Everyone here is at our amazing monthly Patreon tier. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is like these fine folks. Go over to our Patreon, link in the description down below. You can get access to all of our after shows, get behind the scenes looks at all the adventures we run here, all the games we do, exclusive player thoughts on what they think is happening and what their character motivations are over there. You can also get behind the scenes access to blogs and videos and all kinds of other cool things coming soon. And you can get a chance to play with us if there are open seats available. So the best way to support us is to click on that link down there. While you're down there, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And as always, in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar. That bar serves two purposes. One is when that bar fills, Iquin, our wonderful game master, or game mother in this case, can do horrible, terrible things to us, which is amazing. And two, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to this channel to do all kinds of cool things like new equipment and upgrades and artwork and editing and all kinds of fun things and my mortgage. So those are all important things. With that being said, I turn things over to our game mother himself. Iquin, take us into space, buddy.
Oh, well, thank you, Mike. You're already in space because this is a space adventure. This is Iquin's grand space adventure. And I am going to use the alien system, but to set some, things correctly. I have no real need for alien as a thing, so I'm mostly just gonna pick some stuff and borrow from that. So if you come here for aliens, sorry, but I'm more into the space adventuring and less about the aliens, about the system. Just so we have that clear and everyone know what to expect and such. But then the game itself, you are a hardy crew that is about to descend in a lander to a lunar station, not our Luna, not the moon, but a moon, in some backwater system. A huge corporate, let's call them Yutani Wayland, has sent you over there, and they want you to go pick up some research. The thing with this station is that it's been closed for about 5 years due to a real sinister accident that happened where there was a huge radiation leak. All the scientists and personnel on board the station were, according to the report, instantly killed in this accident. There's been 5 years, and you have been very, very little briefed. This is actually very unusually how little briefing you've received. But you are now about to set down on this station to retrieve research data that is of utmost importance to the company. And as we walk around, everyone will get to introduce themselves, their character, and why they are on this mission, at least the official reason to why they're on this mission. Let's see what other things might pop up. And I'm going to start with whatever round makes sense for me in my window, and that is Dr. Connor. Will, please take it.
Hi, I am Will, also the Red Oak Shield virus. I'm going to be playing Dr. Connor today. He is a research scientist, mainly researching in the hyperdrive to increase the engines of our spaceship so we don't have to stay in hypersleep so long anymore. Doesn't know exactly if this research we're looking for is related to it, so has no clue why the hell he's really here, besides, handling the research data.
Sounds good. I mean, there is a hefty contract for you to aid in your research if you should bring back the research data, so at least you will get, funded if this is a successful mission. And then I was going to move on with our resident combat specialist, Vic Klein. And to answer Vic's questions, yes, sure, if you want one.
Okay. I just wasn't sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so today I am playing Victoria Vic Klein. She is a late 30s, early 40s colonial marshal, and she randomly got assigned to this mission days before they left. and she has long brown hair and a ponytail. She has it poking out of the back of a baseball cap, and she wears dark lensed aviator glasses, which I have not cosplayed today. And she wears a leather jacket. Underneath is just like a crew neck shirt with her badge and cargo pants, and she's got a gun slung onto her back.
Well, it's no mystery really that this is one of those missions that is very close to being FUBAR already from the start. Your superiors approached you, Vic, and made it really clear that they don't know what's going on either, but the company was its feet on the ground, and you were assigned to provide said feet and ask no questions and make sure that everyone gets back. Why they need feet on an empty, dead space station out in a backwards system where there's literally nothing threatening, who knows? But
Yeah.
that's what the company wanted.
She thinks she's being punished in some way because she's on administrative leave. So she just happened to be around conveniently for her to be sent on this mission.
Yes, essentially voluntold to go.
Yeah.
We're moving on in the circle that makes sense to me, and we've come to Matthew Masterson. Or is it Masterson? Well, I don't remember what you said.
Masterson. Yep.
Masterson, there we go. You know, I'm just a grunt. I can't be bothered to remember everyone's names.
Well, you should remember it because he is going to be a very important person if he has his way. Matthew Masterson is a slick corporate type, wearing a dark suit with slick back hair. And this is his first mission he's been sent on. So they've obviously recognized his talent. And he's been sent on this mission to make sure it's a success for the company. And success for the company doesn't mean success for the people on the mission.
Very true. You know that it's been said to you that great things await you in your future if this mission is turned out to be a success. So there are great expectations riding on this. But there's also one last and perhaps actually the smallest member of this team, but not the least player. Take it away, Mike.
Hey everyone, I'm Mike. I'm new here. I'm playing Kid. Kid is a mystery. No one knows who his parents are, what happened to them, how he got on a Yutani Wayland station, or where he hides. But for some reason, he has a morbid fascination with sneaking aboard Yutani Wayland vessels. It happens so often that despite being a huge liability to the Yutani Wayland employees, they all consider him a sort of good luck charm. As for how he's here and why, apparently there are cargo boxes just scattered throughout the space station. They are perfect size for a small boy. Because they're airtight, he drills little holes in them so he can breathe and sleep in them. One of those cargo boxes is on a vessel that has just landed on, landed somewhere. But he woke up and you were all here. And that's good.
Yeah. So, no, not only is this a very poorly informed mission to some very far away place, but there's also apparently a kid on board that no one had encountered or actually counted on being there at all. But, I mean, you have to make do. The mission is the mission, and all of you have incitements to actually get this mission done with. The company grunts that came and gave you the missions were in no uncertain term that there is no walking back, there is no coming back without results. Results means everything to the company. You do not. So
You're getting that right out there. Just
Yep. I mean, as long as HR isn't around, there are something, the lines you can't cross just get pushed a bit.
They're a little blurry.
A little blurry.
It'll all be cleared up in my report. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, what has happened is that you are moments from sitting down, and the online screen with a grunt of an employee looking something like this, very evil, no tie. Notice how evil I am. Have informed, like, rounds up the briefing with that in the short terms have been like, welcome to the mission. You are the select group of employees or contractors that are sent out to retrieve the research that we need from this station. Radiation levels should now have been abated, so you can go in and retrieve said data. We have no clue. This is not what they actually say. This is more like me summing it up quickly. We have no clue where the research might actually be on the station. So we expect you to find it, retrieve it, and to come back with said research. And for everyone's knowledge, there's also two other members of this teams that is not played by any of our players. It is Mr. Smith and Mr. Johnson. They are two military grunt. Vic, you don't know them, but you know of their type. It's the kind of same situation you are in, you would presume. They are boots on the ground, sent there with guns to make sure things happen in an orderly manner, whatever that means.
You said
They
Smith
are
and Johnson?
Smith and Johnson.
Okay.
They're not belonging to your like group, platoon, or unit or whatever you're like focused on. And these ones are new to you, but you know a soldier can see a soldier, like that kind of vibe from them.
Mhm.
And they have been mostly to themselves. They seems to also be not in the knowing. They have at least not shared anything about this mission more than like, oh, what a drag. We need to go to this backwater station to babysit a bunch of dorks while they grab some paperwork. Is like the general agenda from them. But they are also present on the ship as you are now lowering down and setting on. The kid was a bit of a surprise. You have managed to get on board the transportation vessel down, so you are also part of this mission now because the time plan didn't really see for one of the containers of rations being filled with kid instead of rations. So there are no round trips. There's one trip down, there's one trip back. That's how long you have rations for like calculated. So may it be a kid is on board and everyone just have to deal with it. The space station that you're going to, which more or less, well, I guess it's still called a space station. It's like a lunar station. It's based on the surface, on like the moon, that you are now orbiting a gas giant in some system that you probably don't even know the name of. It's just, you know, a random string of letters and numbers denoting it. All of this has a very Black Ops feeling about it, since you know very little about it. It's way out of the way for any kind of normal like starship travel. But the station is huge. You can see from orbit when you're coming down to it that this is a moon with no atmosphere. It's very barren. It's just like a rock in space. Doesn't seem to be too big. Compared to our moon, it might even be smaller. So gravity is not really a huge factor here. But also the facility is way bigger than it's supposed to be. I mean, this is a backwaters research station, but it's built with like hundreds and hundreds of square feet. Wait, what is it? Hundreds of square yards. Square. That doesn't work. Thousands of square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of freedom eagles in every direction. I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm loving it.
The station is built in such a way that it seems to have like a top surface level and then work its way down inside the moon. It looks kind of like you can see behind me, like this ring-shaped thing, and then it has a middle thing, and it just goes down. Like a bass speaker kind of vibe. But there are landing pads on the circle, and that's where you are currently setting down. And with a very nice the ship has now landed, and you are waiting for the docking arm to extend and dock you to the station, since there are no atmosphere outside.
Okay.
You have some kind of, you know, space suits and such things that would be included in all kinds of space missions. Vix might be a little more armored than the rest of yours, but they are like a contained atmosphere. You have some like thrusters so you can navigate zero G if you need to, but there are no like miracle things. They are mainly used for like emergencies or quick trips from point A to point B if you need to go outside. So you wouldn't like be able to tour the whole moon with these. They would give up far before that one.
But as
Right,
far as we know,
now-
we don't need it for inside.
You have no idea. This is a station that has been abandoned for 5 years, and none of the briefings said anything about the state of the station.
Okay, so we're going to be wearing our suits. then.
That might be wise.
Okay.
I leave it up to you to decide if you want to wear your suit or not.
Well,
So in no particular order, what do you guys want to do? The arm is stretching out to connect you into the base proper.
I think Vic, as we land and we can hear the things connecting, I think she just lets out a huge sigh and like she's chewing some gum and she just like click click does her buckles, throws them off, and gets up, gathering her shit together, preparing to leave. And she'll
You can
turn,
see. Yep, sorry.
oh,
Go on.
she'll turn to Kid and was like, "Hey Kid, you got the appropriate stuff? Or are you gonna stay here?"
Kid rips the largest belt you've heard in forever, and he goes, "Oh God, space rations really, really do a number on you when you eat 6 of them." No, I have this on. Is that? Can I? Is that what I need?
We'll find out.
He's wearing overalls and most of a backwards hat. And he has a small like messenger bag that isn't a messenger bag. It's a backpack, but one strap is broken off, so it's now a messenger bag. And he says, "Yeah, I don't have a. Do they make? Can I have? Can I wear? Can I fit in your spacesuit? Like, is that? Can we like? Can I get a piggyback? Right?
No. How about this, kid?
Yeah.
Okay. You see this monitor over here?
Yeah.
I'm going to connect it to my diagnostic device for computer systems.
Uh huh.
If it's a green light saying system and life support's good, you can go through the connected air, because I'm assuming this is like connecting to a normal like air compressed room into ship into station.
Yeah, so the ship is has an arm so the arm goes from the ship, so it's all controlled by the ship right now, and it's stretching out to dock into the door of the station.
So as long as all the green little symbols come up here and say we're good to go, you can join us in. But until then, don't rush in, because we don't know if that station has air or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Pinky
Sure.
promise?
I don't know what that is, but yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. You can roll me the first roll of tonight, and I would say it's a comtech to get the systems all talky and see what's happening inside the station.
Said it was a what?
Comtech.
Okay.
It should be on the right of the like diamond shape.
Go.
Go, go, go. Am I don't get any die roll. Is it just me or is it?
I haven't seen it.
There we go.
Whoa.
Wow,
Oh.
that was interesting.
One success though.
One success.
I have no idea why that happened. I haven't done the system part, but sure, one success. Yes, this is kind of a standard operating procedure for you. You've done tons of this stuff. It comes as such second nature. I mean, your research is much more advanced than simple docking procedures here. And the station reads that it has about 1% power. The only power remaining is like the very last drops of emergency power. It reads that it does have atmosphere, the standard kind of atmosphere you would suspect with air, breathable, and such. It doesn't say anything about pollutants in the air, as far as like none more than the usual things that you would expect for people like having been breathing the air at one point. And it says that it's about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so the station is very cold. Since yeah, so Fahrenheit. I was trying to be nice to like the freedom people.
It's fine. That's fine.
I think it's about 8 or so, 7 degrees Celsius or even lower, like 5. So it's like There is not like absolute zero part, but there is no like heating, probably because there's no power. A humidity of 0%, so it's very dry. And also there is 0% radiation scanned.
That's what we like to
For
see.
5 years, it'd still be at least a good chunk of radiation. So I don't know why we don't have any. It's weird.
That's what the system tells you.
All right. If you have winter gear, I'd suggest wearing it until we can re give power back to the station. Which we're probably gonna have to for some of the data files to even access them. So that's gonna be our first priority, is getting power back to the station. Can I do well, I'll wait till we get in the station for.
Sure. Smith and Johnson are like listening to you giving the report of how the station is and are sort of just quietly gearing up themselves. Matthew, what are you up to?
Matthew has his tablet out and is literally writing down everything everyone says and does for his report.
Excellent. Okay. Right. So Smith and Johnson doesn't seem to be the most forward of guys. So once they're done, they kind of just stand around waiting for like orders on what to do. Let's go with anyone. Do anyone want to lead the charge into the station?
I mean, corporates here, I think they are supposed to be here making decisions.
But
Okay,
Matthew
so
looks.
what are we doing?
So Matthew looks up at Dr. Connor and says, "Well, you need to find out what happened here, and so we can report it back."
Okay.
I know I give you the options. You're supposed to be the lead here.
Yeah, and I'm telling you to find out what happened here, so I can report back.
Unfucking believable. And she will
Yeah, unfucking believable.
hoist up her gun and she will boop 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 open the door.
Yeah, there is no like code or anything. You just have to put in the commands for opening the door, and the door opening through the station just like.
Like the air goes.
Well, it's already, there is an atmosphere in there and there's already pressure, so not as much. You do feel like, that cold coming out as the air sort of circulates a bit. So you do feel that the station is very cold.
Okay. And she'll look down at Kid. We have to find some research. That's why we're here.
Okay, cool.
Apparently.
I suggest first we go to a command center and get a map of the place, or try to figure out where the fuel cells are at to get power back.
Yeah, she's gonna look at Smith and Johnson, and she's gonna like snap her fingers, like and like motion for them to take point.
They sort of get now when you're in the situation and they sort of see that you're pulling rank, they will like stand up a bit straighter when you snap, and then they're gonna nod and take out their weapons from their backs, just, have them at the ready in front of them, still secured and everything, but they go out and they look down through the corridor, both ends. You have it docked into like a T-junction, so you can, go to the other ships on either way and then go further into the station. Looking down, they give you the all okay, like all cleared command, and then they just walk into the hallway and stand on each side, waiting for the rest of you.
Yep, she will walk out first.
So as she walks away, Matthew says, yeah, Agent Klein, take charge.
She doesn't respond.
You feel everyone who walks into the station feels that cold air unless you have your complete suit on and snapped. Those of you who does not have a suit on, kid, you also feel that, unused air, that dry, like old kind of stuffy air that hasn't been circularized in like a while, that kind of air feeling. There's no real smell or anything since this is all, machinery that keeps everything breathable in here. So there's nothing that really took hold. There's no like spores, mold, anything like that. It's just like old air.
Okay. Um, uh, kid, kid walks like right a step behind Vic, and he thinks he looks real cool, doing it. So basically the same way, that Vic walks, in like I assume like a semi-military style, he just copies that same sort of confident walk. But every
Swagger.
once in a while, there's like a double step where he has to catch up to keep in line, because his legs are shorter. But he is a step or two behind Vic.
Okay. Anyone who wants to try to find the command central, was it you were looking for? Or what did you say,
Yeah,
Dr. Connor?
Either a command center or a map of the place, some kind of comm system.
I mean,
Try to get a bearing.
I will.
it is a research base, so there's no like guide, like at the tourist place you would have like signs and things guiding you. There isn't really that kind here. Like there are signs and stuff, but it's more like there's signs for people who understands, like that already knows. That just needs a reminder, kind of that way. So anyone who wants to help with finding the way to what is most probably the command center would need to roll me observations.
I will help. Can I argue that there would be a sign saying all visitors are to report to this area? Meaning
Uh,
that would help
sure.
put us in the right direction?
I would allow that. That is not completely unfeasible. So 2 successes, 1 success. Yeah, okay. Wow.
Whoa,
So
nice.
many successes. You guys just know how to navigate a really new lunar space station you've never been on before. This is just like second nature to you all.
Yeah. They're all the same after
It's
a
like
while,
see,
right?
follow the blue lines because that's usually
Okay.
Yeah.
transfer data stuff. Don't follow the red line. Never follow the
Yeah.
red line.
Blue, B for visitor, There we go.
You do find that there is like a sign-in room or a sign-in center for this station. You also like figure out that you need to pass it to be able to get to the command center. Like I talked about in the design, this side, the command center seems to be, from what you can understand of signage and the color coding that are usually happening in places, the command center is in the middle. And it's probably like safely guarded in a deep room down in the middle. So, it's not like surface level. It's deeper down in the middle of the hub, and you guys are like over here.
Okay. Sir, is there power? Or are we in darkness?
Yeah, there is the small kind of light that comes from the star in the system. You can see, like, this is kind of how I envisioned you landing.
Yeah.
So there, and probably that light is what also keeps this from going above absolute zero at the moment. This ship's system said that was about 1% power, so you know that there is like a small amount of power residing somewhere, but everything is like turned off because the system was like, nothing seems to be happening here. There is no one breathing or living, what I can tell. So I'm just gonna shut everything off once the power runs out. The ship provides with a minimal amount of power in your really close vicinity. So like the door that it connected to, it transfers some part of power in there. So you get like emergency lighting and such small things, but the ship needs its power like by itself to be able to fly away. So they can't drain too much of it. So they're very currently conservative with power into the station.
Okay.
But you do have, so you don't have to like fumble around in darkness. But it is dark, it is shadows everywhere, and the only things are like emergency signs, like those light things that goes around floors, like in airplanes, so you can find your exit. Those kind of things are like what the ship is powering at the moment.
Okay.
Hey, do you two big lugs have a flashlight or something? And he shouts over to Smith and the other one, Johnson.
Smith and Johnson. Yeah. Um, I guess we could just use the weapon system, and they flick some flicks on their weapon. And Vic, you recognize this. These are like standard issued combat rifles, and they do have like a searchlight installed in them. So they flick them on and start pointing with their weapons around, giving you some more light.
Yeah.
God,
And
these
she would
guys,
just-
right? And he like elbows Klein.
Yeah. They're ready to go.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're heading that way, gentlemen.
All right. And as we're walking, I turn on my video camera just for, you know, actual correct documentative purposes, not corporate.
Nothing suspicious at all. I also have a high beam flashlight that I will turn on.
Yep, no problem. So yeah, your flashlights do light up the place, but only where you're pointing them, which means that all the places where you're not pointing them are now even darker and more shadowy and more airy. But you have like the least amount of light that you need to travel around. As you move towards into the check-in station, you do notice that everything here seems to be untouched. Like it's like clean, it's nice. It's like what you would expect a well-functioning research station to be in. So whatever seems to have happened here either happened very fast or something has been cleaned. It's very like, usually in an emergency, people rush around and stuff happens, and none of that. It's all like neatly staffed up and everything. You come into the sign-in, the data pads are well out of power, but they are like neatly laid out on a table. They are the chairs are like tucked in. Everything looks immaculate, and you still have that cold, dry air feeling in here as well, and no sign of any people around. You know that there were like hundreds of research employees stationed here that would be dead because of the radiation leak that happened, the accident. But so far you have seen literally no one.
Yeah. And as she's walking, she'll be like, and she's talking to kids and she's walking right next to her. This reminds me of the time back when Pegasus Station first opened, and right before they cut the ribbon and the station was open for business. This is what that feels like.
Oh yeah, no, totally. I remember that too.
Well, you've been around, haven't you? You've probably been around.
Yeah, no, I've been to. Honestly, I've been to like. This is probably like pretty close to like my 100th mission. I think probably like pretty high up there.
Yeah.
At least above like 75 for sure. I just keep going on them because like I'm pretty much the best we have.
I've only had 70.
See?
Actual live drop, so
yeah, like it's so good. Like they don't even give me guns or a suit. They just like, kid, and I go, all right.
That's She just holds out. She just holds out her fist for you to bump it,
and he absolutely does. It's pretty awesome.
She will glance back at Dr. Connor and Masterson. It's like this feels like this place is on the verge of opening and hasn't been used before. Take that information as you will.
By the fact there's lack of bodies, and if it was a radiation issue, that would have to like eradicate full bodies to leave nothing behind.
Do we know anything about the accident? Did they have time to get to shelters?
We were only told that there was a radiation leak.
From what you remember,
and no survivors.
Without is there like a knowledge roll? I don't know what it would be like.
Straight up wits.
Either straight up wits or like
survival maybe.
No, I would more think about like what you know about the accident. So like a history knowledge, that kind of role is what I'm trying to figure out.
Observation or wits.
I would say either observation of wits or in Vic's special kind command that you might have been privy to off the grid information thanks to your standing in like the military part of the company.
I'll roll.
And the other ones you can roll, I would say either observation. Yeah, just do observations, I think. to see what you can remember from the briefing of the accident that went out into media and within the company and such.
And Will, it does not like your roll 20 for some reason.
I
I
think
think
it
it's because I
pops.
have it open.
It-
I have
it-
it open in a separate window.
A thing
Oh,
pops
okay.
up and it will say, "Do you want to add anything or not?" And you can click past it. I think if you put 0 in there, it'll change. It'll stop making that happen.
Alright.
Hopefully.
You said observation is
Um,
to see if you know anything.
Yeah, unless
I
you're
rolled-
military and you're a kid, so you're not military.
Yeah. Of
Yet.
course, of course.
Um,
Kid knows fucking everything.
Jesus Christ!
He is, in fact,
God
he's
damn.
actually running the show.
Yeah.
Is really what happened.
okay, so we have like all over the place here, which is fine. So for the
Kid,
the
Kid
zero,
fell asleep in a vent above a CEO's office,
Yeah.
and he heard the brief that they didn't get.
He's greased the right pockets.
Definitely. So for the zero successes, the official story that was put out into the media was very thin. It was like, oh, there's been accident with a high level radiation leak on the station. I don't like what you can remember. They don't even really put out the station name. They just said like at our research station we've had some leaks. Like people involved and their families have been informed. And that was pretty much it. It was like more of a footnote. It was not a big thing. For those people who were more into tune with the news, either had separate news feeds or so that had one success, you know that things were put out of this story, like the name, for a reason. What this reason is, you're not sure, but you have come across that it was Nectaris station. You remember that the Nectaris station was like the accidental station, but for some reason that name was scrubbed from the media version, but you don't know why. For two successes, you you were privy to a bit more information regarding this. The company wanted to downplay just how disastrous this accident was, that every single person on the station were accidentally killed by this radiation leak, and it would bring very bad public image to the company, so they wanted to downplay it hard. You also know that that is not the whole truth. And now for the three successes, the kid who went to sleep inside the CEO's vent,
With 100
You-
combat drops.
100 combat drop. You got a bit of information that you are very certain you were not supposed to hear. The CEO was talking to someone, you don't know who, to go assess if the station needed to be cleaned out, if the assets were still viable, and if so, to put together a team to gather up the remaining assets on the station and then have essentially just like a nuke from orbit, like just clean that thing out. They, for some reason, are deathly terrified that the vast majority of information regarding this accident reaches the public eye. So knowing that you now are on this mission, you, even as a kid, you can put two and two together with your 100 combat drops, that this is a search and retrieve mission that comes right before a cleaning sweep. Like, if you don't get out, they won't stop.
Cool.
Love that for us.
Cool.
Yeah, we did not get told the time to fucking leave too.
Yeah.
Nope.
We're gonna...
There is very little information going around right now, and you've all like picked up on that.
Kid looks over to Masterson. Does Masterson look like he's a corporate shill? Does he have like?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool. Everything is Wayland Yutani brand clothing. He looks to you and he says,
Sorry, Yutani Valen.
Sorry,
You're
Yutani
in the wrong
Wayland.
universe.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's Wayland Yutani. It's a knockoff of Yutani Wayland.
Yeah. They're all close enough that if you look fast, it doesn't look look wrong. He looks over to you and he goes, "Hey man, is this that tie is super lame. Is this the nuke place? Is this the one getting? Are we nuking? Are we the nuke team? Are there nukes? Who has the nukes?"
He looks up at you over the top of the tablet and says, "No, I wouldn't be here if they were nuking the place. I'm their top up and coming exec.
Oh, okay. Because is this Nectarine base? What is this? What's it called?
No, this is Nectaris Station.
What did I say?
Nectarine.
That's the same thing.
It's not.
Yeah, I remember Nectarine for nukes. That's the same thing. Same thing we're saying. This place has it has nukes, or it's getting nukes. Hey, does anyone know about nukes? You guys know about the nukes?
You don't need to ask about the nukes. There's no nukes.
Oh, there's for sure nukes.
I think she has her shotgun slung around on her front. She's just resting her hand on, and she like walks backwards, looking at Masterson, just like
I was doing none of your business. I was here, and then so some of the vents are warm and other ones are cold, right? Okay, and so when you gotta pick them the right. And anyway, I was in a warm one, and the warm one was in the ceiling, and there was an office, and there was a nice chair, and there was a nice thing, and it smelled nice. It smelled real nice, and there was a guy, and he was evil for sure, because he doesn't wear a tie, and people who wear look like you but don't wear ties, that's how you know they're bad guys. Anyway, so he probably wasn't a good guy. He's probably a villain for sure, and he had like slicked back villain hair. And he said that nectarines get nukes, and that's what I know, and that's where we are. And so there's nukes here, or there's gonna be nukes. Does anyone?
Masterson just looks over at Vic and just says, "Are you going to believe Oliver Twist here, or?"
He's got more experience than you do at this point, for fuck's sakes. And
for fuck's
she
sakes.
just keeps walking.
I'm looking at his profile. There's no history of drops.
Yeah, no official ones, because I'm that good.
You can see that Smith and Johnson.
Down.
Smith and Johnson didn't seem to be privy to this information either. You can, from like what you can tell, surface level, is that they're starting to squirm when they heard like, "Oh, we're getting nuked."
Can Matthew try to ease them over and make them feel like he's in control? That there are no nukes?
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely be a command.
Command or manipulation?
But pick one. Either you're asserting yourself through your like company standing, or you're trying to manipulate them while your very fine social skills to be on your side.
I will go with manipulation because that's better.
Yeah, they're
Nice.
definitely on your side now. They're like, right, what do kids know?
Yeah. There's bonuses in your pay packet if we get out of here.
Do you like the sound of bonuses? Should we head on?
Yep.
Yeah, we're
Let's
walking. I'm assuming we're walking this whole time.
Yeah. You have now reached part of the station. Like you have to walk. Man, I keep forgetting that my image is flipped. You need to walk, down behind me and get to like the bridge that goes over. It's designed this way, and most of you, at least the ones who have been in like the company and been to space station, it's built like this to be like fortified. So if they do get like a pirate incursion or some espionage, it's you need to land at one point and you need to move to a different point and then you can cross the bridge. So it's just like it's a security thing. So you have been walking towards where the next bridge segment should be, and you've moved past the like welcoming greeting sign in here post part, and this seems to be like staffing rooms. People live here, so they need somewhere to have recreational stuff and to live. So this surface level seems to be mostly that. They're like rooms like you would see in like a hotel. So every room is numbered and there are just rows of them going down. Suddenly you come into a door that is not numbered. It just says, like recreational area 5 or something like that.
Okay. Dr. Connor, do you know what kind of information we're going to be looking for?
No clue. if I'm brought here because I am researching our space travel engines, hopefully it's related to that. But besides speculation, I've been informed as much as you have.
Okay.
I've been informed less than the kid, apparently.
Apparently, we all have. And she will wink at kid.
Oh yeah, no. This is so. Okay, so here's the situation. I'll brief you guys. So there was a bad thing that happened here, right? Like everyone died or something. Anyway, there was like a bad thing with radiation or the radiators. And no one's here, and there's information here about what happened, and Necktie doesn't want anyone to know about what happened, so we have to steal it, and then they're gonna nuke us.
Oh, all here on Nectarine Station, right?
Yeah, Nectarine Station.
And he just does an exaggerated eye roll at everyone.
I'm telling you, guy didn't wear a tie.
You have... Okay, sorry, continue.
No, go ahead, Eichmann. Go ahead.
You have reached the area now where you need to take an elevator down a couple of levels to reach the bridge that is not at this level. And as you get there, you notice that the way that this is built, the ship interfacing will only go so far. Since this is a research station for like classified research, the data system is air-gapped at points, and you reached one of those points. This is as far, like you see that the lighting and such stop here, because the wires are air-gapped, so the ship can't provide more power. Neither can it connect and do anything more with the systems. So you need to find a way to traverse down. From what you can tell, just looking, like there are windows, facing inwards. It's like the whole view thing. And you would say that it's at least 3 stories down to where you need to go to get to the next bridge. And this is like where the ship's help powering the station stops.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. So are we still in that outer ring? We haven't crossed the gap yet?
Yeah, so you're... God damn it, you are... Let's see if I can do this. You are about down here now. So you landed over here, and then you walk down here, and now you need to drop down into... Stop doing that. Drop into the crater. See, I should... Maybe I should just make a map, but I couldn't be bothered. So
Like
this is
from
what
now
we're going
on,
with.
this is the only way I will accept maps in your game, is as a picture, and you just have to whiteboard it.
Yeah.
Have to weatherman it.
Yeah, so you guys are like here, and you need to go down.
Okay, so we need to because the bridge is going to be 3 levels down, so we have to get down and then get across. Okay.
Just to remind everyone, the kid doesn't have a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Correct. But in theory, there should be access tunnels or like service shafts that go along the elevator.
It's probably going to be a ladder climb of 3 stories down.
Well, assholes and elbows. Let's go. And she's gonna look for a way, like an access hatch.
And I'm gonna look to see if there's like a small maintenance computer that I could hook up my system diagnostic device to see if I can boot a little bit to like open the hatch or unlock it, if there is one.
Yeah, there's a hatch. There's like just where the energy from the ship stops, there is a little small hatch that you could face into. So you roll for that. And yes, Vic, you do find that there is, like the way the station is built, there's no a separate tunnel, but you could probably pry the doors open, and there should be like, one of those, like inner shafts. You have like the elevator going in one shaft, and then there's just like a side part where there's a ladder, so you can climb, and even if the elevator goes past, you would be safe in that sort of part over there.
Sweet. And she will
one success. So from what you can gather, this is as far as the system can go, since the rest of the system is unpowered. So you do gain knowledge, but it's mainly the knowledge that all the data you've been given so far is about this part of the station, like over here, this like quarter part of the ring. because that's as much as the ship is being able to power up, and the sensors can't read anything without power. So there might be air down there, there might not be. There might be radiation down there, there might not be. There might be colder, hotter. It's kind of hard to tell since the system is kind of like.
I asked. It was Johnson was one of the other guards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a radio set on yourself, right?
Of course I do.
All right. Will one of you be willing to give it to the kid for a little bit?
They kind of look at each other, and they look over to Masterson, since you're now like the corporate in command.
He'll just nod.
So Johnson takes like his shoulder clip, unclips it, clips the radio, and hands it over to Kid.
Oh, sick.
All right.
It's not a toy. If you break it, you buy it.
I have $5.
You'll work it off with your mission pods, and they elbow each other and like.
For fuck's sake.
All right, kid.
Yeah.
All right. I need you to listen. This is important.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to go to the ship and stay as our watch. Make sure no one else gets on the ship, all right?
No, that sounds
and if we
so
give you
boring.
the all clear,
No, I don't trust this kid
safe.
back on the ship by himself. He's going to fuck things up. He's better here with us.
He doesn't have a suit. I have
can
no
pilot
idea.
That ship. You know, you don't even know. Listen, I could get us out of here with that ship before the nukes even land.
All right. Okay. If you don't want to wait at the ship,
Yeah.
wait here at the elevator shaft for us to give you word that it's safe for you to come down. You don't have a suit. We don't have a suit for you.
But
I mean, he's been on 100 drop missions. I think he can handle a little lack of atmosphere for a while.
Yeah, necktie. Despite the fact that he has a necktie, I agree.
Can I use one of my observations to
indestructible.
find a maintenance airlock where they might have just standard maintenance suits for safety purposes?
Yeah, I'll allow that. That is not completely unfeasible. It is, however, for an adult size. So
Yeah,
there is a spare suit in the like a maintenance closet. You walked by it like a couple 100 feet back, but it's easy enough to retrieve. So if you can get him in there in a way that he can function, it should work.
Yeah, I was thinking it's kind of like the Expanse. It's like it's like a bare bones spacesuit. Like he ain't jumping, like using jump jets going anywhere. But like if we get into zero atmo, all of a sudden he won't die instantaneously. Yep. So
you would appreciate that. This is also one of those like maintenance emergency suits. It's a bit better than like pure emergency suit. So he would probably, instead of having like the 5 minutes of air breathable, he would have like half an hour to an hour, somewhere in between. I mean, it's half an hour for an adult human when he's a kid, so he might get some more air since it's more suit for his body mass.
Yeah, awesome. And she will bring it over. It's like, kid, sorry, but you got to put this on, or else we're going to be dealing with this the whole way down. I know.
Oh my god! For fuck's sake!
Sorry.
Every time he says that, he just looks at you, and he like climbs into it, and like he for sure like he like pulls up into it, and like his feet don't hit the bottom, or the crotch is at his like the waist is at his armpits as he gets in, and he just sort of like overlaps things, so like he either has to pull up to walk or let go to use his arms. So he's constantly like a human slinky, adjusting the waist up or down depending on the task.
Does anyone have any duct tape?
We left ours back in the ship. Sorry, Smith says.
If we come across some duct tape,
if they are good grunts, they always have tape on.
It's true.
Who said that they were good grunts? They're grunts.
They're grunts.
Tape, a notebook, and a pen.
Yeah.
Because it's a common spacesuit that's supposed to be like a one size fits most. Are there adjustable straps on it?
I mean, they are, but they are to adjust. Like if you're like 5'10" and want to adjust for one.
It's like a couple inches in every direction, not a couple feet in every direction.
Exactly. I know.
It's a little bit helpful.
Can we jerry rig it in a little bit of a way so that way it's more
So he's
he
not
doesn't have to
encumbered.
hoist up his waist.
Yeah. I don't
I
want him
mean,
to be encumbered.
I will let you roll. What's it called? Like the survival.
survival?
No, it's survival. That's survival. Anyone who wants to try to partake in jerry rig a spacesuit for the kid.
I will help.
Oh,
Damn.
well, does okay. So
The dice rolls are going alarmingly in our favor for nothing happening so far.
Yep. Just get all the good rolls out there, so when the bad
Yeah.
stuff happens.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not rolling for anything.
Typical norm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Vic, you have no idea what to do. You are mostly in the way, but together with Dr. Connor's amazing jerry rigging skills,
Yeah.
and
I'm
the
just
kid
holding where
being
he
a
says to
kid-
hold.
Yeah, and the kid being a kid, I mean, he's inventive. So the two of you managed to jerry rig something together. Downside, you can't take the spacesuit off, but like by yourself because it's jerry rigged to hold up. Plus side, it actually fits you to move normally now.
Outstanding.
Nice.
Okay, so how long do I have to wear this for?
Until we
Until
leave.
we can get power and check the systems, get life support going, make sure there's no radiation.
Mhm.
Okay,
And-
fine.
I can say that it does feel a bit better because your body heat warms the atmosphere inside the suit, so it's not as cold anymore.
Yeah, but I can't fit into tunnels and vents and
No.
crawl spaces and my snack box.
Definitely not in your snack box.
We gotta
Yeah.
make sacrifices sometimes, kid.
Sacrifice necktie.
Well,
So-
the day's young.
And you see him quickly noting something down.
Smith
you roll?
and Johnson are can help you to pry the doors open. No big issue. They sort of just grab from each end and just pull them apart. And the door is, since there's no power and the emergency thing has hit at one point, the doors have, the kind of, if you pull them open, they stop by themselves kind of mode right now, so they don't close immediately.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, and she'll help them prop it open with the butt of her gun so they could get the things open, and then everyone start making their way down.
Yep. You do make yourself down there. No issue. I mean, no problems at all. All you need to do is really just climb a ladder down. I mean, that's fine. All of you roll me observations. Oh, there we go.
Lord.
2, 2, 0, and 0. So, the corporate shrill and the kid, you don't notice this. I can say for the kid, you need to be kind of focusing on where to put your feet and grip to not slide off the ladder. The corporate, I mean, you're not used to these situations. You write reports and like sit in a chair. But the other two, you have had some more field experience, which means that you notice that everything inside the elevator chamber, can't speak, is coated with a very, very thin, like ice-like material. It's like millimeters thin, and it's very easy to miss. But if you look at it just right when the flashlights goes around, you can sort of see that it gleams. It's not like you can see the ice itself. It's like the gleaming, and it's not like everywhere. It's just parts of it that sort of hits the light correctly that makes you aware of it.
I think I found where all the moisture in the air went.
She will take her flashlight and just kind of scrape it. Psh, like, does it act like frost?
It kind of does. You scrape it, and it sort of comes onto your spacesuit that has some like warmth radiating through it, and it kind of melts, and it just, completely goes off. So it's, water has like surface tension in a way that it makes it stick to surfaces. This one just slides off. So your like glove becomes completely dry, as all water, as soon as it sort of be defrosted, just slides off like there was nothing. No friction, no restriction at all.
Does it smell like anything?
Um, do you have or do you don't have your suit on? Because I was under the impression that you had your suits on now. You wouldn't be able to smell it through your suit.
Oh, so I thought I had my helmet on, but if you thought our helmet was on, then my helmet will be on.
Okay. But now, since we had this whole episode with getting the kid in a spacesuit for if there's an Atmos breach,
Good, yes, good call.
I just assumed that everyone was in their suits prepared for an
Yes.
Atmos breach.
Yes, then she will not attempt to smell it.
So yeah, you have no idea, but it kind of behaves like water, but then again, it does not behave like water.
Mhm.
You can ignore that. I accidentally clicked a button.
Keeping secrets even from the game mother, are we?
No, I didn't realize that was a button, and then I clicked, and I was like, "Whoops."
No, it's fine. So yeah, you descend down. The ones of you who observed the thing, if you want to make everybody else notice it, otherwise, Smith Johnson doesn't seem to notice it, and Mr. Masterson's or the kid doesn't seem to notice the ice.
She won't. Yeah, she won't mention it. But well, Connor says this is where all the moisture went, and she just kind of notes that and continues down.
Yeah, you do manage to get to the third layer down where the bridge is, and it seems to be simple enough. Pry open the doors, traverse it. There's like one of those, really sci-fi tunnels that is like a floor and then it's just a glass over top, so you can see the whole like station moon thing. And yeah, nobody knows why anyone builds it like that, but it's surely built like that. Of course it is.
Sure.
Here, so where it's like inside, you need to keep your flashlights around to see anything at this point. But since this is like a glass kind of walkway, you do have the system's star to shine you to some light. But as you get towards the middle and you get into the shadowy area, you feel that the temperature drop very hard. There's like sub-zero Celsius now, going to probably very soon go into the sub-zero Fahrenheit region. It drops dramatically and it gets cold because now you're in the shadow territory.
Yeah.
That's kind of how space works, because the radiation heat is all you get from the star. And when you get into the shadow, no more radiation heat for you.
There would also, because you also there's a gas giant. We're on a moon, right? So there'd be radiation.
There would
light.
be some light bouncing off the gas giant. There would be some tectonic movements because of the crushing and such. But I am not here to have a science show. I am here to have a sci-fi show.
Yes. So we will.
Probably have to pick up pace now that it's getting that cold.
Do I notice any more of that ice?
You do. There is not inside the tunnel, but there is as soon as you get, or like the parts of the tunnel that are inside the shadow area has the same kind of thin icing layer. Funnily enough, not on the glass, but on the floor.
Is it slippery?
Not really.
Okay.
Are we, what are we doing here? Over. And the kid is 100% cupping his hands to his helmet.
Well, right now we're trying to find the power station to get some power back in this place, and looks like we need to book it here real quick. It's getting too cold for these suits pretty soon when the suits are going to give out.
Yours might, mine won't.
Yeah,
And,
neither of mine. I'm pretty awesome. Over.
Well, yours might actually last longer than ours. They actually care about engineers.
Yeah, it's because I know how to properly breathe in space because I've been on 100 space missions. Over.
He just keeps walking.
Yeah. So you do come into the central pillar. Now you do realize that this will be a bit more challenging, because these doors are not meant for any and every employee to just traverse, since at the central hub and getting closer to the command center. And the first challenge you do meet is when you get through the bridge and in on the other side. using only the flashlights as light in this section, the door to get into like the hub main is locked, and it's deadbolted locked because there is no power. And this part of the station works in the other reverse. It doesn't open automatically. It locks down automatically.
Okay. So we need some kind of manual override.
You do need to figure out something because like the main door is just like shut, and from your experience, like looking at these kind of door, most of you would recognize like a huge steel lock dead bolted door when you see one. You've been to space stations before.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have any spare batteries on them?
Nope. But there might be a good old manual crank to open the door in the event of a power loss and people were trapped on the other side. She's going to look for a panel,
I'll help.
either in
Well-
the floor or in the walls.
You do know that such a hand crank would possibly exist on the other side of the door because these doors are meant to protect people coming into the center station.
Hmm.
But if you could get someone to the other side of the door, most probably there would be a hand crank in there.
Iquin, are there some sweet vents or tiny little maintenance hatches or things that would be
Course there
appropriate
are.
size for someone like me to fit into?
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, you need to get the air circulating in here. There are dozens of air vents going
Yeah.
around.
Can I get into one of those and get to the other side of the door?
You could certainly try.
Hell yeah. What do you want me to roll for that?
I would say mobility, because
Hell
you're trying
yeah.
to traverse a small little space.
Hell yeah. 2 successes.
Nice.
Yeah, even with this bulky spacesuit keeping you at a disadvantage, you managed getting hoisted up by your teammates into a
Guys,
small
hold on.
little
Watch
vent up
this.
there.
Ready? I'm gonna show you how to do this. Ready? If you just give me if you give me a boost up there to the ceiling, can you see it right up there? And then I'm gonna open up that vent and I'm gonna save the day because I'm awesome. Over.
All right. And she'll boost him up.
Yep, with the boost, you are high enough to just, grab and pull yourself into the vent. It seems that no one really counted on, small, tiny humans being aboard the station or trying to attack it. So, crawling through the vent, you do get like lodged here and there in your spacesuits, but with 2 successes, you manage like reach and then get the suit to unlodge and continue to squeeze. It's a tight squeeze, especially with the spacesuit, but you manage to get it through, dropping down, and
You'll
on the
also
other
give him
side.
the flashlight so he's not in the dark.
Good call. With this flashlight and everything, you'd sort of drop the flashlight, drop down, and you're now on the other side of the door, and it looks different. I mean, the door is designed to keep people out, and you're in, so it looks easier to maneuver from here. Said hatch that was looked from on before is visible on this side.
So no one expects the childish inquisition. So no one guards
Exactly.
against us. What is in this room? Is it just a hallway?
There is a hallway. It leads deeper in. It seems to be like, one of those main what do you call it? Arterial, like those big blood vessel, that travels a lot
artery?
of people.
Arterial.
Arterial, thank you. That's what the translation is. Kind of road that moves forward into the section. It has like branching small hallways that goes in a circular pattern out from this main one. So you find like the main door essentially.
Okay. Is there anything I can see in here that would seem like it would be cool or impressive?
Oh yes, a lot of things. All of the rooms that you see further in are, like it's one of those, it's like a meter of wall and then it's just glass for the rest of the wall. All of the rooms have this glass. You can see like all the way to the middle shaft, which is wall again. And they all have bunch of cool equipment in them. These are research rooms, lots of them. Some have like cages in them with was probably once animals. Some of them have like huge computerized, like, robotic arms. A lot of them have like vials and tubes and stuff with like what was probably once liquid.
Cool. That does sound cool and impressive.
Yeah.
He looks at all of that, but just like the surface level. And then he walks to the door, and he's gonna try to open the manual door engage.
Yeah, like I said, there is no power, so there is a very much a manual engage, like with a hand crank.
He's gonna try to crank that thing.
Yep. Yeah, I would say just like pure strength, or maybe if yeah, you know what? You can roll me heavy machinery because
Great.
why not?
Great, they're the same number.
Yep. But bet it was, but
2 successes, baby!
He says,
wow.
Boom!
"My God,
Kid
I mean,
is
yeah.
100 combat missions in. He is a veteran here.
101
Get
now."
out, right? And
Right.
he cranks this thing open, right? And as the door is opening, he like leans over as he's still like, and he goes, "Hey everyone, hold on."
Team, welcome to the science level. Over.
Good job, kid.
No problem. If you look to your left and to your right, there's science robot arms, and there's also some like gooey tube stuff, and that's a cage for monsters for sure. Space monsters specifically, but also genetically engineered monkeys from space. Yeah, that's a fact. Over. Enjoy that necktie.
You got a migraine there, Masterson? As you were like rubbing your eye there.
Oh,
You okay there?
it's just this mission is a lot.
You know, and she's gonna hold her hand out for the her flashlight.
First thing you do notice, and you come in here, is that parts of the floor here has what looks like pools in shape of that weird ice-looking material. It's also thin, like really, really thin. So there's not like pools as in, splashy pools. They are frozen solid, thin as ice. And there's not like the entire floor, but there are like splashes of them pretty much everywhere.
Okay. Okay, so she notes those. Then she's gonna point to motion to Dr. Connor's like, "Hey, Connor, that's the same thing we saw in the shafts."
Yeah.
She's gonna look up. Looks like it's dripping from somewhere?
No, it doesn't drip from anywhere at all. Like so far, either there's been no signs of liquids or there's been solids that might have once been liquids. It's frozen. It's cold. Especially in these parts, it's really cold.
Yeah, is it just on the floor or is it on the walls as well?
It's only on the floors. So far, except the elevator shaft, so far you've only seen it on the floors and then on the elevator shaft. That's the only place you've seen it stick to the walls.
Well, before I can even try to figure out what the ice or pools of whatever this is, we're gonna have to get power to the ship because I don't have any research tools directly on me. I only have diagnostic tools, and the thing that's actually doing a proper recording of what's happening, not the tie back there.
Mm-hmm. Are there any more colored lines telling us where to go?
Yeah, so there are some of them you recognize. Like if you want to go to the central hub, it's kind of like straightforward. And like the size of the hallway tells you that this is the arterial line. Like this is to move a lot of people in conjunction. And then it's sort of the whole research laboratory thing. It branches out in the circle around it, and you can see all like these glass like rooms, so you can see through pretty far through all of the rooms, and you can see all this research equipment. They have everything. Dr. Connor, you have not seen a research facility like this, but in your wildest dreams. Whoever was funding this had a lot of money rolling on this.
Dr. Connor's gonna mentally note that if it was this funded, and it to be like kind of scooted under what happened here, uh, he does not like his prospects of this mission going smoothly or safely anymore.
Yeah, and
So he's gonna start picking up his pace a little bit to get to the hub, find out where the power for the station is, and turn on the power.
yeah, she's gonna lean down to Kid just because he's the one who has all the intel, the secret intel. It's like, hey kid, what did you hear what they did with all the bodies?
No, but what I did hear is that because we're on, so this is Nectarine Station, right?
Yeah, Nectaris
Yeah.
or Nectari Station.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so they want to know if there is any chance of the truth about what happened here leaking out, and if there's no chance of that happening, I think that's when the nukes are gonna happen. Yeah.
If there's no chance of the information getting out, they're gonna nuke it.
Yeah, because I think they want to get rid of it. Yeah, but if there is a chance of it getting out, they have to stop that, and then they can nuke it. I think that's what I heard.
Right.
So if Necktie gives the all clear, we might want to run because of the nukes.
She does
You know
not
that-
glance. She does not glance at Masterson.
You know that small little detail, the nukes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
And
fine.
it's-
The nukes are going to Nectarine Station. We're on Nectaris.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, you were traveling towards the main shaft then. You didn't want to stop by any of the cool research equipment rooms.
Not really.
This
Okay.
this
You
is
wanted
this is
to?
Dr. Connor's slightly starting to go into like this isn't adding up. We need to hurry mode.
I mean, you're fine to do whatever you want. I'm just asking to make sure that I don't rush you somewhere you don't want to be.
Is there anything that might catch her eye? Let's say that. As she's
Would you have any science interests at all?
no, not really.
I mean, it's a science station, so there's a lot of science. I don't know if your interests are like different kinds of sciences. There's tons of stuff that catch your interest. Like Dr. Connor would probably have a field day with this laboratory.
Yeah. Are there any
Okay.
puddles inside the labs?
They are.
As Dr. Connor's like rushing through here, can I do a wits roll to figure out what they might have been researching just from glances, or would that be mainly observation?
I would say it's mainly observation, but I mean, you get wits with your observation, so you could just push observation and see what you get. One success. From just rushing past and looking at the setups of different stuff, this very much seems to be a biology lab in some form of macrobiology, or maybe microbiology applied to macrobiology, since you saw caging, which probably had lab animals in them.
I immediately go, even if we have power, do not take off your helmets. This is a biolab, no doubt about it. And then Connor just proceeds to like start booking it.
Yeah.
Right. When you get to the main shaft, you notice that command center at the top, power station, or like the powering things, are at the bottom. It seems like this station uses that tectonic movement from the gas giant to generate thermal power down at the basement. So there you go, G. Are you happy? I've used the space giant that you're circling. It's now a science
I
show.
was no judgment. I was just saying. Just saying. No, absolutely.
Don't worry, Iquin. She's in rare form today.
Mhm.
What?
So now when you're stuck in the basement, you can all blame G.
And then an asteroid hits.
Word
comes
portal.
another
What
ship.
the-
It
it's
says
what the
Forward
company
Express
says
on
was an
it.
asteroid.
Jesus. Okay. So yeah, power and such downstairs, command center upstairs.
It's just we start heading down to the power cells to get everything going.
Sure.
I think since we're short for time, maybe we should split up. Maybe Vic, the doc, and the kid go down, get power up. I'll take the Johnson and Smith, and we'll go to the command center.
Sure.
Remember the nukes.
Yeah.
So looking through, and since you have to do the climby climbs again, this part is actually a separate maintenance shaft. So this is like a elevator shaft, and then there's a stairway shaft. So there's just stairways in the separate one. But there is like 20 stories up, and it's like 20 stories down, because this, like I said, this is a huge station.
Shit. All right. So they have to climb 20 stories up to get to the command center, and we have to get 20 stories down to get to the power
Yeah.
center. All right.
My map is not to scale, so this part is finger. There we go. This part is higher up than in the image.
Oh, okay. I just imagined it going down.
Yeah, it does go down, but like you went from the surface 3 stories down, and now it goes 20 stories up. So this part is actually higher up. It's kind of like a towering. But I searched and fixed images forever, and I couldn't be bothered to do it to scale. So
No, I think that's perfect. All right. So we will go down. We will split up as per the corpo.
okay. Sorry, remind me who we're going down and who we're going up.
I'm
Uh,
going down.
Yeah, Connor, Vic, and Kid are going down, and Masterson is going up with Johnson and Smith.
Right. Excellent. Johnson and Smith accept this, and they're like, sure. Moving down, let's start with you people first. It is easier because you only have to go walking downwards. You do notice that the ice is present on the floor here as well. It's not complete, like I said, not completely covering, but you see it like here and there throughout your descent climbing down. And the same thing kind of happens when you get down to the bottom. There's one of those blockades where you have, like, you know, engineering section. It is very much not open for anyone because you could very easily die if you just fucked around in there. So that door is also closed and locked.
Kid, what do you think?
I mean, I could try to get through a vent again.
Yeah, is there anything on the outside, unlike the door upstairs?
There is no ice. When you get out of like the elevator shafts, there's no more trace of ice here.
Is there a panel?
There is a panel, but it's like one of those electronic communication panels that is completely dead because there's no power.
Can I use part of the battery in my system diagnostic device, hook it up to the terminal, and then try to brute force tech check to open the door?
You can certainly try.
All right.
I don't like that smile, Oakland. Nice.
It's my best evil smile. One success. Yes, you do figure out. It takes you a while, but after a while, you do figure out how to get the door open. So you sort of, you take some wires, you just scale them off, you open this patch, you punch it some, get some other patch, connect them up, manage to get some power through to the panel. You run some non-corpo approved programming on your data pad to be able to circumvent the access lock. And after like 15 or 20 minutes or so with doing all of this to get it to work, the door slides open, and I will get right back to you because we're going to do upstairs in the meantime. So, Smith, Johnson, and Masterson, you're heading upstairs.
Yes. Up to the control room.
Right. So it's the same kind of deal with you. Moving upwards in the staircase, you see the ice on the like the stairs. It's not like hollow stairs. These are, you know, like cemented stairs. They are not everywhere, but like every level has at least 2 or 3 splotches. Some have like 5 or 6 even, and they're like very thin. You can like, the only reason that you really see them is because you're lighted by flashlights that sort of the gleams when you move the light above them, and the rest of the concrete part is just gray and you know, flat. You're reaching up to the top floor, you kind of realize the same thing that the bottom people realize, that the comm center, or like the command center, is also not to be fucked with in every which way. So they also have a very like hard locked door. Problem for you though is that you don't have a kid nor a sciencey professor with you. So how are you going to tackle this problem, Mr. Masterson?
Well, Mr. Masterson actually has a bit of Comtech skill himself. So he will attempt to open the door.
You're gonna
That's
try
taking up
the
that ladder.
same kind of thing.
Yep.
Roll me that then Comtech, Mr. Masterson.
Nice.
2 successes. Seems that you're not just a shrill after all. You actually managed to do something good for this mission. And taking out the data pad, you know that the best way to gain clout and standing in the company is to get results. And gosh damn it, results are what you're here to manage to prove to the corporation that you can bring. So that takes you the same kind of 15 or so minutes plus the climb up. So we're a bit forward in time from the other party before you get the doors open. So we're gonna get back to what happens with you as soon as we've been downstairs again. But you managed to get it. I thought actually that would be much more of a hassle, but yeah, you Comtech things just worked out for you. God, you guys are rolling so great tonight.
We are. Just wait. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
While Dr. Connor is fiddling, I'm going to. Sorry, you said there was no splotches in this hallway?
No, once you exit the staircase, and that's the same. You're right, sorry. For you, Master Chance, the same thing. As you exit the stairwell, there's no more ice splotches on the ground, and so it's the ice in the stairwell. As soon as you exit it, it's like clean, dry.
Okay, then I will hold my what I was going to do till later.
Okay.
So she's just leaning against the wall, watching Connor work. She'll help him hold something if he needs to do something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then she
Hold
will
this
shine
blue
her
wire.
light.
Don't touch it to anything.
Yeah, sure. She will hold it, and when the door opens, she will shine her light inside.
Excellent. So you, Connor, managed to fibble around with the data pad, opening up the doors. You, Vic, immediately shines the light inside, and you can all that are down, and even the kid, get some stress because you are met with like a group, almost like a horde looking of people, perhaps. You shine your light on 30 or so individuals that are like ice sculptures, and they have like semi-translucent skin underneath the ice, almost like they were being dissolved, but they are standing like running towards the door, but all of them are frozen solid in the posture that they were ending up in. They look kind of like a hybrid between an ice sculpture and a frozen person.
Damn. She's like, whoa, shit. Fuck.
Yep. So all of you can have a stress for that.
Are they like moving?
They are very solidly frozen in place. It looks like 30 ice sculptures / frozen humanoids. It's hard to tell because, like I said, they are very semi-translucent and they look like they're being dissolved. So you can kind of see straight through them, but they're also like ice and ice covered. So imagine that you like drown people in goo and then fast froze them in place, standing and running. That's what you're met with.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
what
you guys
those.
think that if we turn the heat back on, they'll melt and come alive and become space zombies and eat us?
I think what's going to happen is those puddles out there that we saw. That's what's going to happen if they unthaw.
Oh, that's way less cool than I thought.
Well, it's a different kind of cool, or not so much. Fuck.
So how are you going to turn the power back on? There's a lot of
Uh,
gooey people in there.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna try to see if I can not. I'm gonna see if I can control the environmental temperature throughout the station and only like put it in the select spot of the command center. If I can't do that down here, the other option is not turning power back on. And and Dr. Connor goes to one of them real quick and touches the ice human to see if there's any
Uh,
reaction.
It feels like frozen solid ice. It really does. And you touch it, and like when you have like this surface temperature thing, a little bit of it melts and immediately sort of drops off your glove, just like zero tension, surface tension, drops down to the floor. And since it's so cold in here, it sort of like freezes, kind of like into a snow. What do you call those? Man, my
Hail.
English is no, yeah, like a hail or a piece of snow. I know the Swedish
Snowflake.
word, but
Snowflake.
snowflake. Yeah, snowflake.
Okay.
Swedish word doesn't help me here, but yes. So it kind of like, fast freezes as it comes down.
All right. Well, let's just try not to disturb this situation here. Can you get to the power terminal?
I'm gonna look for where it's at real quick from here. If that's all right.
Oh, it's definitely in the middle, behind all the people. Of course it is.
I'm gonna look a way around it to where I'm not gonna bump into any of the people or.
Oh, that's gonna be a mobility check. It's 30 people in a cramped space here.
Oh, I can do it.
Well, yeah.
Three
Wow.
successes
Damn.
and a stress.
Okay.
What do you know is?
You know that you probably don't want to touch these people at all. And when the kid says, "Oh, I can do it," you feel like something inside you telling you like, "No, I am the adult. I can do this." And you just focus up and you manage to just slid your way through the
I'm a
frozen
doctor,
statues.
damn it.
Mission Impossible music going on in the background.
Yeah.
Yep. What were you trying to do again? You were trying to patch the
get-
power.
I was trying to get to the center of the power station to turn power back on, but to also not touch any of the statues.
Yeah.
Frozen people.
You reached to the power station, like where you can control the geothermal thing. It's quite complex. And let's see, you were not a geothermal technician, were you?
No.
Wait.
Yeah, I told you the
Uh,
guy without the necktie was evil.
Yeah.
But I still do have my system diagnostic device, so
You have your system diagnostic device. That thing is saving you a bunch right now.
so I can hook it up to the panel to see if I can,
Hey, Connor, whatever you do, keep the power localized to your control only. I don't trust Masterson.
way ahead of you on that one. I'm gonna attempt to at least.
So it's one success to get the power on. It's two successes to get the power on in a controlled manner where you want it. And I would say to not turn on the entire station or completely lock Mastersons out, I would need 3 successes, because this is a piece of equipment that you have literally no idea really how it works, and you're relying heavily on a diagnostic device that is made to make things function, and it will probably turn on everything if you let it just function. But for one success, it will turn back on the power.
Ooh,
2 successes.
very good.
So you're not sure that you managed to lock Mastersons out of the system. The system is way too complex and you are not as specialized in this kind of thing. But at least not all of the system just went back on immediately. You managed to keep it a bit controlled and started up. And so what exactly do you want to happen?
I'm going to try to divert. I'm going to turn on the air life support systems on everywhere.
Yeah, you can do
And,
that.
but the environmental temperature controls, I'm only going to put up to the command center, and yeah, just only the command center.
Okay. So only temperature in the command center.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Let's move up to the command center where we left. So, Masterson, being an adept person with a data pad yourself, you have Smith and Johnson standing ready and shining their flashlights in as you manage to get the door open. And you don't see the same thing, but you can also take a stress point because what you see is an actual skeleton sitting in a chair inside. It looks to have been there for a while.
We've seen no other bodies, have we?
This is the first body you've seen. The other people have seen the first bodies they
Yeah.
saw were the frozen statues down the stairs. So yes, this is the first body you've seen in this place.
So Masterson will go straight to that terminal, wait for the power to come on, and start accessing data.
The power comes back on, but at first it's just temperature and air control. But you could try to get into the system to divert more power up for your systems up here if you want to.
Yeah, he will attempt that.
One success. Yeah, you divert more power up to your systems to bring on the computers. I would say, Connor, you would be noticed about this because there's a more power drain, but you have no idea how to stop this since, well, you got 2 successes. But in the meanwhile, Mousersons, you now have computer power up here.
Yeah, so Matthew will insert his data transmitter card and transmit all the data he can to his tablet.
It demands clearance access from very high corporate, much higher than you are, and actually, strangely enough, much higher than you would normally see in these kind of research facilities. This demands like CEO level access for the data.
Yeah, he has corporate clearance, but definitely not CEO. But he will try to hack it so that it thinks he's got the clearance.
Roll it. Yeah. You manage to take some time, but you do manage to get around coming towards the thing. The first thing that comes out is a report from Lydia Gray. She is the head of research at this facility. She has very high corporate clearance and is very renowned. And you might actually have heard of her as the corporate person you are. She was like a brilliant lead scientist for the corporation. And it was very unclear what happened to her. She just stopped, appearing in the media at one point, went away, and then the accident happened and nobody sort of heard of her before or after. So you just like, maybe she retired, but apparently she was here. She is the head of biotech weaponry research at this facility. And with your 1 success, you take out a report that you can see is not meant for your eyes. It tells the story about how this research station was researching a biotech weapon that looked like ice or water. And as soon as it gets defrosted, the water would act as an individual of its own, trying to infuse itself into other living organisms and multiply and then rinse, repeat. It would like liquefy all organic matter inside the creature it inhabited, and then that would produce more of this water that would be almost sentient in that way that it moved and acted on its own. There are some reports of it like you're doing, those kind of like mouse cheese mazes and figuring out how to get out. But it's also noted that it's very dangerous. if you get any kind of contact with it, if it comes into your breathing system, if you touch it with your skin, any form of like infestation, then you would probably much be set into quarantine and you would be dead. The water organism would take over and liquefy you in just a matter of moments.
Mm.
Masterson will download all the data he can, and then he will try to download a bit of software that will delete all the records on the station.
You can do that as well with your roll. You grab the data. That is fascinating. You get 4 successes, but you also get a stress failure.
Jesus. Holy shit.
The realization of what is about to happen kind of hits you. You understand now why the corporate was so adamant about nuking this place. This is the biggest threat, but also the most valuable biotech weapon you've ever seen. And that realization hits you, and you start to frantically grab at getting all the data pieces, which you do. But in your frantic panic, you accidentally reroute power to the entire station, and everything gets powered on.
Oh shit.
Perfect.
Oh, yes.
I love that for me.
It is. I'm assuming Connor gets an alert to this.
Okay, everyone would be alerted. Like, you would physically see, like, all the lights coming on everywhere, all the vents started blowing, and Connor, your little device telling like the temperatures and the atmosphere, it would read like, yeah, the air is much fresher. It would start to read like an upwards going temperature, so it's like starting to go not as cold. It's still freezingly cold, but it's getting warmer and warmer. You would also see that you're starting to get to the levels where you would start to expect moisture in the air very soon.
I quickly try to shut off the power. I am completely undoing what I have just done.
I would say that you have to beat his contact with a 4 to be able to outmaneuver his comm from upstairs. It's the hacking battle, you know, with the videotapes. Like,
Fuck.
no.
You can push and take stress.
Push.
Yeah, you can push.
It did an error for me.
Then,
I'll just
yeah,
do another contact roll then.
very unclear what the problem is. So you
Nope,
pushed it.
Yep.
Yeah, in your push, and you try, like, you get as panicked, realizing what is about to happen. You try to like gain back control and start to shut things off. And the only thing that you unfortunately managed to do is shut yourself out of the system completely.
And as soon as that happened, Dr. Connor yells, "Run, book it now," and just does not care. Is knocking over all the frozen humans.
Yep. They are starting to be less frozen as you knock them over, and you can like see the data reading like air humidity 1%. It's starting to thaw in here because this space station uses geothermal, so heat is not a problem for it.
She's gonna pull the door shut if she can after Connor gets through.
I would say just stamina to like push the doors together.
Nope.
Nope, you can't really grab them, and you're all kind of in a hurry. So it's either staying behind and trying to get them closed or booking it. Those
No,
are your
she'll run.
options.
She'll run.
You have either the staircase going back up or the elevator, since you now have power.
Elevator is going to be the fastest.
And we
so
see into the elevator.
The elevator is not at this floor at this moment. You have to call it.
Listen, you never take the elevator in an emergency.
Run it.
Yeah, we'll run up the stairs.
Excellent.
Don't step in the puddles, she'll say.
So, you try to enter that, and we'll get back to you shortly. Masterson, the whole station has suddenly awoken with power. You didn't mean to do that.
He did not mean to do that. But
But
he
it's
will
getting
take
warmer.
he will take advantage of it. He will broadcast a message saying all clear, and he will run straight for the elevator and go down to the area that he can get to get across back to the ship.
Okay. You call the elevator, and it's on its way up. Let's say it was on floor 17, and it needs to go to 20. And when the elevator comes, you hear that very custom ding, and the doors open. And what meets you is something really weird. And you can take another stress point together with Smith and Johnson, because it's humanoid blob-shaped form of water meeting you, and it has kind of like, those tendril things that comes out like pseudopods that sort of are reaching for you.
He will try to get either Johnson or Smith in between him and the thing that's reaching for him, and head for the stairs.
You can hear, but as you run to the stairs, you just hear their firearms going off. Through like the elevator shaft, you, especially you, Vic, recognize gunshots coming from a very great distance of far away, but they are gunshots. They're loud, and there's like the whole elevator shaft to bounce down on. But the other people, depending on how used you are to weapon fire, you do hear some kind of weird noise, but it's kind of soft and far away in the distance. You're booking it to the stairways as well.
Actually, I think he would book it back to the command center and try to close the doors.
Okay. You can see Smith and Johnson trying to sort of shoot at this thing. Shooting at water doesn't do much. It doesn't have that much of an effect. So they're backing towards you. Are you waiting for them to get in, or are you just closing the doors?
Closing the doors.
You close the doors, and you can hear like, hey, man, let us in. Hey, water.
Yep, and he will try to, if he can't find a space to withstand a nuclear assault, then
The
just
command center is good, but it's not that good. It will, like, there's windows here. Just the
yeah. I was
windows
going to say,
alone.
is there a way to break those windows?
Probably, if you really wanted to, but they are like, enforced to be able to withstand the pressure, 1 atmospheric pressure on the inside and 0 atmospheric pressure on the outside. So they are going to be a bit thick.
He pulls out his pistol and just starts shooting at the window.
That does make the trick, and you get that nice when all the atmosphere is just vented out through that window. I would need you to roll me stamina as well to be able to not just get sucked out or like hit by something and pushed out, as now everything is venting out from here.
I'm not sure he wants to stay in there, but
Okay,
will
it's more
attempt
about
to.
the controlled, not just get like
Holy fuck.
whoa, yep. If you wanted to get out, you're doing a very like nice and controlled ascent out of here, out through the window. Moving back to the staircase, people. You open the doors. You are also met with the same thing, so all of you can also take a stress point, because there are several of those watery, gooey people starting to form in here as well. You open the door and you see how they like as the heat air vents now are just pumping out heat into the facility from all around you. Your little data pad already reads air, what is it called? Air moisture at 5%.
So the puddles are forming into creatures?
They're forming into what looks like vaguely humanoid pseudo people.
Jesus. Okay. Are we able to run around them?
No. But they are water.
You're muted, Will.
Will is still muted.
You're still muted, Will.
I'm gonna
There.
run to the. I'm gonna try to find the nearest control panel real quick and activate the fire suppression system to either make it really cold in the room by blowing in a crap ton of CO2 to put out fires for emergency, to
Mhm.
hopefully make the room as cold as possible to slow them down or refreeze them.
Good idea. I would say an observe roll to see if you find anything like that here. If you can find the fire suppressant system.
3 success.
Jesus.
Freezing.
Plus a stress.
Yep, lots of stress. So you notice that the closest, like there's probably somewhere else, but the closest one is behind one of those watery, blubbery things, and you run straight through it to be able to smash that button, and immediately the fire suppressant system roars into life. All like the red thing, like sirens goes on, red lights goes on, and the argon-based fire suppressant is just released like a cloud of argon gas just vents out. Funnily enough, it's sort of vents down and then seems to be starting to get sucked upwards again. You're not completely sure how that works. But it does make sure, like the gas releasant seems to take some heat away, and the heating of the station seems to have been suppressed with the fire suppressant system. So the creature that you ran through, you can feel it sort of slither and glide down and try to find crevices to get in through your suit, as it doesn't get any real grip on you, but tries to like reform into larger puddles and then slides down a bit and reforms to an even larger puddle. And all the way you can feel it's like, you know, when you have like a snake on you that sort of tries to get grip to get somewhere, that's kind of feeling that it's exerts on you, like pressure at least.
Okay. So I'm confused. Where did Masterson vent the atmosphere?
Up in the command center, but all the like, you know, it's not completely hermetically sealed as of
For
now.
sure. Yeah.
So it's kind of all the fire suppressant gases are slowly also being vented upwards.
She looks to Kid. We need a way out of here. Can you get us to a vent?
I can get into a vent. You guys are way too big.
Well, they're made for people to go through most of the time.
Well, no, maintenance hatches are. Vents aren't.
In the background, you see that Dr. Connor just like throwing his arm around to like swash off the liquid as quickly as possible. He's like, find a fire extinguisher.
Can we? Okay, so they're not. These things are not getting through his suit.
They're
obviously.
trying to find places to get through his suit.
Okay, then I guess we can just run up and through these things.
Is this like a spiral staircase?
Yeah.
Lyquid?
Yep.
With like railings, I assume.
Yep. Very much the standard industrial.
Okay, cool. because I was this kid. Kid looks to Vic and goes, "Okay, I have an idea. It's crazy, but suck it in. You might fit." And he climbs on top of the railing, and then he reaches up to like the next zigzag of the stairs, and he starts to climb like the poles of the stairs, because they're I assume they're close enough to go back and forth. So he starts to like climb those, and he gets to the top of those. He grabs the other ones and starts to like monkey bar his way up the stairs, staying in like the center of the stairwell, not actually on the stairs.
Yep. Mobility rolls.
Let's see what happens.
Doctor, let's go.
I am going to. I'm going to push.
Another stress.
And a
Okay.
stress for me.
Push.
I push and I get 4
many?
successes.
Holy shit!
Shit.
I am
Wow,
fucking
and this-
gone.
Yeah. Let's see.
One panic for Dr. Connor.
One panic for the corner.
I'm at
And
5.
what happened? What were you doing,
Oh,
Vic?
I'm sorry, my thing didn't roll. I was like looking at someone else's.
Okay.
Yay!
Hey.
Like this, guys, like this.
Okay, and I don't.
You can see the kid is just like, and anytime like one of those pseudopod things comes out to try to grab him, he is like diverged, like whoop whoop. And Vic, you have a harder time, but your like combat experience does help in this. It's kind of, like basic training all over again, climbing up these things. You have to stop and sort of dodge when the pseudopods comes out to try to grab you, and you need to like move to the other side. It takes you a whole lot more. Like Connor, you're just climbing. The things are trying to drag you. You don't care about the arms. There's like just tons of liquid trying to get in. You climb through those arms. You get smacked by a pseudopod. I would need you to roll me a close combat to sort of combat your way away from one of these things as you're trying to just climb through everything in your sheer panic to get away.
No.
One panic.
Yeah.
You try to you're like in such a state of panic right now. Nothing works. You're trying to climb, you're trying to grab these things. You grab something and your hand slips and you fall backwards.
Oh shit! Can I try and grab him?
Sure. I would say either just pure strength, you're trying to just grab him, or a mobility if you try to like grab and swing him into place, like divert his force.
Sure. Well, I think a mobility would be better because it rolls the attribute with the skill.
Yes.
Yeah. So I will do that. 2 successes.
As you fall, Connor, you feel this panic, like, oh, it's over, it's all over, and then you feel this arm grab by your scruff and sort of wing you and slam you into this other side, and you're like perched and gripped before you even know what happened. And
She just
behind
yells,
you can
"Keep
see
going!"
Vic. You see Vic like pushing you into the other side while trying to dodge the pseudopods.
All right.
We'll leave you there for the moment, panicking, trying to scramble up the inside of some stairs. Master Sons, what is going on with you?
So you said earlier this suit comes with maneuvering jets?
Yes, you have like basic maneuvering jets and some like air. Right. Since you put down the fire extinguishing system, the clock starts for your like you need to seal your suits to have to decide the fire suppression brings away all oxygen. So you have about half an hour. Kid, you have about an hour of air inside your suits at this point.
Yeah, so Masterson is going to point himself in the direction of the ship and just start using his jets to push there. Is there gravity or?
There is like, less than the moon's gravity. So there is gravity, but you can like long jump pretty easily.
So he'll do that.
Just roll me mobility to see that you end up at your designated target. Ooh, 2 panics and 1 success. You're also panicking. You get thrown out as you climb out of the window, starting to adjust your rockets like to get to the ship. You can hear how the doors kind of like open, and you look over your shoulder and you can see like almost like a wave of that water sloshing in and then start to form up to like a huge pseudo-human kind of form. Kind of looks hard to describe. I know exactly what I want to describe it from, but I don't think you would get the reference. But it comes up like it doesn't really have legs. It's kind of like just this huge body thing that comes up to something that looks vaguely like a head, and then it sort of has 2 or more pseudopod that looks roughly like arms that just slings out and tries to touch stuff. And it's about 10 feet tall, like comes in. And then at its base, it's at least 5 feet in like diameter at the base, and it goes up. And it's like rushing towards you, and realizing you have no time, you just hit those thrusters and you go straight out, not even closely towards the ship, and you're not sure that you will actually manage to make that jump and not just fall down into that little that little crater right over there that is between you and the ship at this point. I would need you to make another mobility check to adjust your course and get on the right one.
Since I'm using the jets, can I argue for piloting?
Yeah, actually, yeah, sure. If you're using the jets piloting, sure. That would make more sense, actually. I always thought of piloting as like pilot a ship, but I mean, you're getting to the right part now, but you're going way too fast, and you don't really have a way to stop this trajectory and the speed. You need it to be able to clear the crater, but you also don't really have enough thrusters to slow down, or like the distance to slow down with the said thrusters. So you just slam into side of the station, very inopportune, and you can take I would say like just a point of damage from like just the impact, like schmuck.
Well, any stop you can walk away from is a good stop. He is going to readjust and try to head to where he thinks the ship is.
Yep. So you have like the wind knocked out of you, and you feel terrible. It was like very short stopping in that slide, and you also need to find out either how to get to the ship, because you're now on the wrong side of the station. You're on the side that is this side, and the ship is like on this side, and you see that it's like a wall you need to get over and get over here. It's a whole bunch of mess, and you're also like in sideways wrong. You're not dead on target. But we'll get back to you to figure that one out. The other guys, how are you doing? You are transcending up the stairway. It takes you a while, but you manage to get through that, and now you have a corridor to get through as well, because, like you remember, you went through all of that sciencey things, and there was a lot of ice in those sciencey parts before you get to the bridge that brings you back to the other station, where you also knew there was ice. So what is your plan now?
As we're going through the quarters, I'm looking for like fire extinguishers.
There are fire extinguishers here.
I want to grab them. Are they the CO2 fire extinguishers, or are they the foam?
I would say in a research laboratory there would be both.
All right, I'm going to
Because-
grab. I'm going to try to grab the CO2 canisters and hand them out to everyone. Say, pull the pins, spray them down. If what I'm thinking is correct, the sudden change in temperature will either spook them or slow them down for us to get by.
Yeah, I'm also going to assume that because the bridge wasn't sealed, the temperature is dropping again because it's vacuumed. We're open to a
Yep.
vacuum, so
the temperature is dropping again for sure. So you have that going for you. You
Mhm.
just need to make it to a point where you need to survive long enough for the temperature to drop until they freeze, and you're not quite sure at what temperature these things freeze.
or
You
at
know
least
that
things
they
slow
were
down.
Yeah, they were frozen when you got here, when it was like very cold. So
Mhm. So yeah, so she's got she's gonna give her canister to Kid, and she's pulling up her shotgun.
right.
Do our suits have like mag boots?
Yeah.
Is the station? Is it metal?
Oh yes, it is.
And we know for a fact that the vent is the station's being vented up above us.
You don't know for a fact. You could probably take a guess at it, because you saw a lot of gas going downwards and then like starting to be pulled up again when you hit like the fire suppression system, and that is kind of still happening. So it seems like to be an updraft, which is weird. There's no usual updrafts on space stations.
And there's probably some kind of klaxon alarm going off if there's full power.
Oh yeah, there's
So-
like a lot of alarms going all over the place right now. There's like cacophony of different alarms, sirens, like lights blinking everywhere.
Yeah. But no. Sure, okay.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? To that point, there should actually be since there's an atmospheric breach, there should be an alarm telling you that there's an atmospheric breach in the command center as well. Amongst the other, like fire in the engine room, atmospheric breach in the command center, and a lot of that like going around.
I just think going down the hallway, because all we gotta do is we gotta cross the gap, because that's where we are right now, right? We're crossing the gap back
Yep.
to the elevator or to the ladder that we climbed down. So it's faster to continue where we're going, right?
Yeah.
Might be.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you hand Kid the second CO2 cartridge and
Yeah, and she mounts up with her shotgun.
okay.
You come out into the research area, and there are at least 2 that you see immediately of those watery things that is blocking your way forward. That has sort of manifested from all the ice in all the research booths, and that's sort of gobbled together now. And they've made 2 separate individuals, perhaps. But they are clearly in your path if you're aiming for that bridge.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot. If they're in their way, she's gonna shoot them.
Then roll me some ranged combat.
So do I roll range combat or am I rolling my weapon?
You click on your ranged combat and then you add the bonus your weapon gives you.
Okay.
Excellent.
Hello, let's go to. No successes. Wow, that was my first failed roll. I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Error cannot properly identify. Okay. Combat 2.
Okay, so the system doesn't seem to be perfect when it comes to this.
That's
but
fine.
yeah. Well, still, I didn't write it, so I don't care.
So do I get I get a stress, right? For pushing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stress. So, yeah, you shoot it again, and
I do 3
shoot it again.
damage.
You shoot it. You do 3 damage. You can see that it sort of splatters off, and then it sort of starts to slide down and starts to reform a bit. So you're not sure that you actually made any kind of damage to it more than like
Run!
you splashed it a bit, and then it had to regroup. That's pretty much it.
It's good enough. It's good enough. It has to take another action essentially for it to reform. So she just yells, "Go!"
Anyone else want to do anything?
As we're running through it, I'm going to spray the closest one to me with the CO2 fire extinguisher real quick to try to slow it down and help me get by it.
I would say that would be close combat, counting it as close combat, trying to spray it, because that doesn't want to be sprayed, and you're wanting to spray it. So,
God damn it.
you run. You don't hit it even close. You spray a lot of CO2 all over the place, and then you run past it.
Kid just runs. He's got both of these canisters. He sees like the shotgun blast go off. He doesn't wait for Connor, and he just starts running down the hallway.
Sure. You with Rick actually hitting it and it's starting to having to reform, you can find like foothold to get in between them but it's close. The other one sort of try to grab at all 3 of you. Connor, you might actually have been grabbed. You already have so much liquid trying to find the perch to get in on your suit. It's kind of unclear. At this point, you're starting to feel it's actually slowing you down a bit. Like it's actively working against your movement to try to keep you here and try to keep perched on your suit, reforming and gliding around. You get to the bridge, and as there was no ice on the bridge, there hasn't been any creatures forming there. So you can make it across the bridge if you'd like to, or do something else if you want to.
We're getting out of here, Iquin. Wherever we're going, we're getting out of here.
Okay.
But I still have the liquid on me, right?
You very much think so. You're in a very panicked state with all your panic going on. So It
Connor,
feels like you have it. It feels like it's working against your muscles. You would say that either you have muscle spasms or you have liquid, like its reforms try to go up, doesn't really get purged, slides down, reforms, and then try to do pseudopods a bit. It's not a lot, but it's enough to be annoying and slowing you down.
I start yelling, "Spray me down! I think I still got some of that liquid on me. Can't have it get in the ship. We're screwed if we have it in the ship. Spray me down. The CO2. Get it off me. Get it off."
Head, go.
Kid will put one down and just hose him down with this other one.
You start to hose him down, and you can see that the things are slowly starting to freeze. Vic, you can see that one of those creatures are coming after you. The other one is still like reforming or doing something else, or they merged into one. But one creature is like globally, like almost like in a waveform, moving forwards towards you. While Kid is spraying down the doctor,
Globbingly, yeah.
globbingly moving forward. I'm trying to describe water moving as a liquid and also as kinda like a solid. So
That's it's completely accurate.
It's slurping down the hallway.
Yeah.
it's slurping down the hallway towards you.
Yeah,
It's
she's
aiming
gonna
to slurp you.
She's gonna shoot it. Can she shoot it?
You can certainly try to shoot it.
Okay. 4 successes.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. Knowing what you had to do last time, you try to get a bit closer and then just shoot like 2 rounds, buff, splashing it out in different parts, and then you quickly back up again. And it's starting to reform already, but it needs to take some time to reform. Parts of it is like going towards you, but you essentially slowed it down a lot, having to reform and not being as big. It can't slurp as fast.
Mm-hmm. Amidst the slurpling. Okay, yeah. So soon as it's neutralized, sort of, she's gonna run back and then.
Kid is trying to spray down the doctor, who's like panically trying to brush it off as it is. But every time he brushes it off, it sort of reforms, and the kid sort of needs to start over, trying to freeze it with the CO2. It's not easy as it moves away from where he's spraying to somewhere else on the doctor while he's trying to freeze it. It's slowly getting colder. You can see pieces of it being like frozen and like being dragged by other pieces. But this is taking a while.
Yeah, we have to keep moving. We can deal with this later.
You can just take the suit off before we get in. Let's go. We have to go.
Yeah.
Dr. Connor just runs with them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you make it back over to the elevator. Master Son, you are on the outside of the space station on the crater side, just feeling the bone-achingly pain of smashing into that side. What is your plan?
Masterson is if there's mag boots on these suits, he'll apply mag boots, and he will pull out his data pad and send a message to the ship to come and collect him.
Okay, well, that's very easy. You look over and you can see the people running and then stopping and spraying. You can see Vic shooting and all of that as they move through the bridge part with his glass and from a vantage point where you can see them. Since you're now all essentially outside and in the starlight.
Yeah, he'll just stay where he is and try to be as quiet as possible.
Okay. So far there's no creatures on the outside of the space station. The ship autopilot, man, can't speak today, says that it will start to disengage from the space station and come to collect you. Anything else you want to do?
He'll just start preparing a report saying that he was the only survivor. All the rest.
Well, hold on. He can just say, "I called the ship to come and get me." What the fuck is that? What is that?
Can you at least make a comm check?
Yeah, is that not a roll?
Fine.
It's a
make a comm check. Make a comm roll to use your comm pad with your corporate comm credentials to have the corporate ship come pick you up as the corporate representative that you are.
Make a roll.
He's not.
Matheson.
He's not that high up on the corporate ladder for it to really come rescue him.
Yeah.
So
Fuck.
4 successes.
4 successes.
Jesus Christ. Holy shit, these rolls are fucking wild.
The autopilot essentially concedes you as dead already.
Look,
That-
I just
that roll
invented
had to happen.
transporters and I get teleported to the ship.
Yeah.
So are we just like done now? We're just gonna wait to see if Masterson can actually get on the ship? Like, is there no point?
No, you I will say like this. You can get a chance to get on this ship as well. Because you're now at the elevator shaft where, you know, there was the combined elevator and ladder part. And since this liquid seems to not be able to really hold to surfaces that are like vertical, it is clear. So you can get up here, and I will give you that when you reach up and you see this thing, because the ship can sort of do all the things, as you're running towards it, you can see the ship sort of taking off. You also have a data pad and you have a scientist with you. So I will allow you to sort of intercept the like when you're back in this part of the hallway, the ship was connected. So you could get like a signal that says, boom, I am starting to disconnect. Disconnect sequence is happening on your data pad, Dr. Connor. Are you happy, G? Are you happy?
I just wanted him to make a roll. Like, that's all I wanted. So whatever.
It's
Fuck
fair.
you, I guess.
It's fair. No, it's fair. It's fair. He made a roll. He got 4 successes. You're
Jesus.
It's true. He should make a roll to do the mundane things that he do.
I'm gonna do quickly.
I don't think it's unreasonable.
Jam my diagnosis device in the nearest control panel to try to hack my way into the ship to reverse the autopilot.
Okay, then since everyone now has to roll under the command of G.
Do whatever the hell you want. Holy shit. Fuck. 5 successes.
5 successes. You definitely override any and every command. Like, the ship is yours
And
now.
another stress level.
Holy shit.
You're very stressed, so you do not program it correctly. So I think this is a part where we can kind of call it pretty good, because both of you have rolled 4 successes, 5 successes, and the stress call. So what happens is you tell the ship to come pick you up first before Masterson. You do miscalibrate it, so it sort of smashes through the ceiling and the roof of the space station, coming to collect you. Almost hitting you, but you dodge out of the way, and you can all get up. But since Masterson also has corporate clearance and rolled 4 successes, the ship cannot be persuaded to not pick him up as well. So you all make it out. Masterson's report says he's the only survivor, but you all make it out.
Oh my god.
It does not change that report.
I fully expect you to say it gets stuck between going back and forth, and then the nuke hits, and we all die.
Yeah, just kill us all, Lakeland.
It can't decide who to go pick up. It's like 4 successes.
Yeah,
It's
just
just
right into
4
it.
successes plus corporate
choose.
clearance equals 5
do.
successes, and it just fucking breaks down and crashes.
I don't know what to choose, Mom, Dad. Why are you fighting, Mom, Dad?
Yeah.
Like, Connor is way too stressed to tell it what to do properly, so it's like, no, we're
Also,
all dying here.
how much time has passed at this point?
With all the climbing around, all the things, I think you've been there for a couple of hours, like.
No, I meant for when the emergency air supply kicked in.
Oh yeah,
Because of
it
how
was
high
like-
my stress level is, I probably had like 5 minutes at this point.
Yeah, like if you hadn't rolled those 5 fucking successes, that would have been a huge problem. But it was like 4 successes, 5 successes. I was like, just let it end on a high note. You guys like hacked the shit out of that ship. You crashed it into the station. There was like a close call on several fronts. Like the air health was almost running out. Masterson's was beat up when you met him again. He was like bleeding and shit. But you managed to get out, flying away, as by some kind of a miracle. No nukes hit. So
That's surprising.
I punched Masterson's.
at least if I understand, like Masterson said he sent out the all clear, and my interpretation of that was that don't nuke, we're all clear. So at least corporate interpreted the message as, okay, we're all clear, we're not gonna nuke.
Yeah. Since we all got out, I won't shoot Masterson in the head as soon as we get back. Because that was totally going to be my
I mean,
Oh,
you honestly
right.
didn't know half the shit he did, so I don't know why you have a reason.
No,
to
exactly.
know.
You do notice that Smith and Johnson is very peculiarly missing. They are not on board the ship. And they're
Yeah.
not with Mastersons either.
How
Mhm.
strange.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Who would
I
have
do know
guessed?
I do know he called the ship to pick him up since it was detaching, so I'm still gonna
Yep.
punch him.
He was going to pick you up afterwards. He just had to get in there first. He
Oh.
didn't know where you were.
No one's buying that.
Can I roll manipulation?
Sure. Let's see. Let's
Will
see.
you
how
accept
good-
that roll?
I will.
Will you
Let's
accept
see.
that roll?
Let's see if roll 20
There you go.
does it. Yeah.
He was so going to pick you up after he got picked up first.
Definitely was going to pick you up.
Yeah.
And in the very last ending scene before we close this out, and I will hand it back to Mike, I'll say that you make it onto the ship, and we see a small little droplet of water exudes from the suit of Dr. Connor well inside the ship. Hey,
Hell
there we
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah. You started describing you started describing the water creatures, like how they infected people. There is an episode of Doctor Who that the same kind of thing happens. It's called The Waters of Mars. And a space station is on Mars, and they thaw the water on Mars, and they're like using it as like for their plants and to drink, and it's full of like microorganisms that take over their body, and they just start like producing water out of everything, and they try to kill people by spraying more water down
because
their
they
throats.
didn't have the right filter replacements.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly what it was. The filter broke on it. Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome. So that was my exact thought when you started describing the water thing, and I was like, that's cool.
I actually stole it from The Silent Sea, which is a Netflix series that follows the exact same premise, but they're on the moon instead of Mars.
Oh, that's awesome. Even better. I steal most of my sci-fi shit from TV, so
Yeah. Cool.
cool. That is it for our Patreon one-shots this month. So check them all out, the other ones over on our YouTube. Check out all of our other cool shit over on YouTube. And as always, if you guys want to support our channel, the best way to do it is over on our Patreon, like these fine folks here. Link for that in the description down below. Get access to after shows, behind-the-scenes looks at cool stuff, pre-release of blogs and videos, and all kinds of other fun stuff, and chances to play in games. As you're down there, clicking on that link, click on that Discord link, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation, and let's go around, do our introductions so we can get the hell out of here and do our after shows. We will start with our illustrious GM. Iquin, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
Well, hello, I am Iquin, your friendly neighborhood Swede, and also today your friendly evil corporate overlord. I am definitely in the unMadeGaming Discord, so you should definitely stop by. I also pick up players to play in my off-camera games there, which is mostly horror, Call of Cthulhu a lot, and like you see these things, I have taste for that genre. I also run the unMadeGaming Mastodon server, so if you're on Mastodon, come hit us up. It would be lovely to see you over there as well. And I do also do some art with mostly Melissa, which is also part of the fan art that comes around in the Discord where you can see it. There are some parts on my YouTube channel, which is also Iquen, but it's just like mostly trial pieces and stuff, some part of the things I released. So that's what I'm doing.
Hell yeah. Awesome. G, what about you? Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hello, I'm your friendly neighborhood lightning invoker. Like I said before, you'll find me in all things unMadeGaming, whether I'm modding during the week or playing in all the Patreon things. You'll see us for Age of Always on December 9th, which is Saturday, and Mundus Novus on the 17th, which is a Sunday. And The Rise, I forgot last time, on the 16th, which is a Saturday. Yeah, and I'm still puttering around on X. I am on Blue Sky if you have a code for that, and I am on Mastodon, but I don't go there at all. So, and in the Discord, I'm in the Discord all the time. So come hang out and talk about all of our games.
Hell yeah. Norm, same questions. Who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Normal Snow. You can find me in the Patreon campaign in the one-shots and in the Discord, and PAX U next week.
Yeah.
Right, PAX U.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
And
Even I will be there.
That's true.
Ooh.
And last but not least, Will, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what are you up to?
I am the Red Oak Shield Virus. You can find me occasionally on the Discord once in a while for unMadeGaming. Don't really have anything else going online. That's all.
Hell freaking yes. Like I said
It's
before,
a
guys.
pleasure to see Will because we hardly ever get to see him and
That's
play
true.
with him.
Will is the busiest person. So yes, pleasure to have you back on the one shots, Will. As we said, a bunch of us are going to PAX next week. So if you're at PAX, come see us, come hang out. We're doing a party on a little community meetup / party on the Friday. I'll be posting things on the Discord and the social medias. So if you're at PAX, come hit us up, come hang out, come chill, have a good time, play some games, meet some friends, and do all that fun stuff. But that's it from us. I hope you enjoyed these one shots. We will see you next month. So from all of us to you guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.